Our warm-up today is going to be quick and simple. This is one of my favorite ways to warm up. If you're ever by yourself and need a warm-up, this is it. Put a running clock, 30 seconds apiece, and you're just going to do different movements every 30 seconds. We're going to start off with some squats. So here we go, finding that squat stance, feet anywhere between that hip to shoulder width distance apart, making sure that the weight is back in our heels. As you're going through these squats, continue working them. We'll be going 30 seconds at a nice, easy pace, and just something that you feel comfortable with, feel confident with, and you're going to be able to maintain here for another 10 seconds. We're going to continue going through those squats. They're a great way to get part of our warm-up. Next movement we have will be a reverse lunge. When we start standing in our squat stance, reversing that lunge back, keeping a 90-degree angle. Again, this is just warm-ups, so just find a pace that you feel good with. At any time, if these movements are not feeling great for you, find a different movement, and when in doubt, plank and squatting are great ones. So we've got 15 more seconds worth of these alternating lunges. Taking some deep breaths as you're working through these. None of this should be super intense, but it definitely will be adding up. I'm going to stay on the lower body here, finding a nice wide stance for our Cossack squat. Reaching the hips back and over, feeling a good stretch on the leg that is nice and straight. As we're going through this, we should have our heel on the ground at all times. So whatever foot has the weight in it, that heel should be on the ground. We have 10 more seconds here going through this. Next movement coming at you will be jumping jacks. Just a nice traditional movement, one that is effective. And we'll go ahead getting started in those jumping jacks. I'll be doing most of this warm-up along with you, but not the whole thing. You want to make sure I can talk as we're going through these as well. So just keeping a nice, consistent pace going through that jumping jack. That's 15 seconds in. We've got 15 seconds to go, continuing on the jumping jack. Again, we can always go to that step jack from side to side if need be. In 3, 2, 1, we're going to kick back into our plank position. So right now your heart rate is up and getting into plank. We need to keep our core engaged. This is a really good time. Take those deep breaths and practice breathing, being engaged. So this is a really good time to practice that big inhale in, forceful exhale out. All right, we're gonna go ahead, hopping back up to our feet. We're gonna get into flapjack. So feet back and forth, arms back and forth. Again, just going 30 seconds here worth of those flapjacks, just back and forth. As you press through, you should feel a really good stretch through the chest. Again, just keeping the feet moving, finding a nice, consistent pace. Super simple way. You can set this clock at home if you're on your own, working out on the weekends, whatever it might be, and you want a quick warm-up in. 30 seconds of just a bunch of different movements. You pick them. You can pick all ones you like. You can pick ones that you want to practice. Either of those are just fine. So we're going to go ahead. We're going to find that squat stance. We're going to go into a squat and a little bit of a jump. Going back into a squat with a little bit of a jump. If you feel like you want the extra challenge, we can go directly into that next squat. If the jumping portion is not feeling it for you, that's just fine. We can work our traditional squat just as we were on that very first round. We've got 5 more seconds, getting a couple more of those squat jumps in. And heart rate is up. We're gonna get back into our plank. This time we're gonna go for our plank shoulder taps, tapping the opposite shoulder. I always like a wide base with my feet. We can also drop to our knees as well. We always want to avoid that butt getting way high in the air. So keeping that nice tight in line. That's 15 seconds in. We've got 15 to go. If you need to drop down to your knees, that's fine. Go ahead, drop down. If you need to shake the shoulders out, that is just fine too. 5 more seconds in 3, 2, 1. We're gonna walk ourselves all the way on up. We're gonna go for our inchworm. So walking our hands out. At the bottom of the inchworm, going for 1 push-up, whether that means from the toes or the knees, and walking back. We continue going through these. This is not a very fast movement, so don't worry, you won't get a ton of these in, and that's gonna be just fine. We've got 10 more seconds, so let's finish up whatever that inchworm is that you are on. Walking on out, walking that on back. Let's find yourself onto the ground. So we're gonna be taking a seat on the ground, going for a traditional sit-up, sitting down, coming up all the way through. We can always turn that into our traditional crunch as well. Just 30 seconds worth of sit-ups, This is a great time to build some of that strength. If you're working on getting better at sit-ups, this is a great time to practice it because we only have 30 seconds worth and it's just part of our warm-up. So I'm going to be going here. We've got 5 more seconds. Let's get a couple more sit-ups or crunches in and hop up to our feet. We're going to find our squat stance here once again. We're going to be reaching down to the ground and then jumping up overhead. So this is that ground to overhead jump touch. Definitely getting the heart rate up, starting to get those legs burning a little bit too. Don't worry, we're already 15 seconds in. We've only got 15 seconds to go. Heart rate is coming up. Take some of those deep breaths. We have 10 more seconds, going for a few more of those ground to overhead jump touches in 3, 2, 1. We're going to get back into plank, just holding plank here for 30 seconds. This is an opportunity to work on the breath. Feeling comfortable in plank, dropping down to the knees if you have to, even shaking those shoulders out a little bit and then coming right back in. Just taking some deep breaths. We're halfway through, 15 seconds in, 15 seconds to go. We've got 5 more seconds in 3, 2, 1. We're gonna go ahead, finding ourselves back up to our feet. We're going to get back into some lunging variation, this time going forward, driving through that heel to stand tall, going back and forth. No matter what the workout is for you for today, no matter what we're doing, always getting a warm-up in is going to make sure you can make the most of that workout for today. Here we go. We've got 5 more seconds, getting a couple more lunges in. We're going to finish off the final 30 seconds of movement with up downs. Only 30 seconds, I promise. It's not going to be that bad. Jumping back or stepping back, bring that all the way up overhead, or that step back and step up. 10 seconds in, 20 seconds to go. Continue working through. Heart rate is up. This is going to be our last movement for the day. Not for the day, just for the warm-up. Last movement for our warm-up. Just getting things kicked off. Here we go for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You can go ahead, let's stand on up. We're gonna take a big breath in. Forceful exhale out. Big breath in. Forceful exhale out. We're gonna slowly bring our heart rate down. Taking a nice wide stance, gonna bring hands up overhead. Reaching, opening up, and then reaching down in between the legs. Take that back up overhead. And back down in between the legs. Let's take 3 more of these. Feeling a good stretch on both sides of the body. Getting our last 2 in. And finishing off with our final rep. And reaching down between. If there's a couple areas that you still want to spend some extra time on, feel free to get some additional warm-up, stretching, mobility on those areas of your body before you kick off your workout. Otherwise, make the most of this workout today. Congratulations, you're doing the right thing today. If you do the right things, results always follow. So keep it up. Enjoy this workout today.